So we use these things a lot in here, and a lot of people don't necessarily, or haven't been exposed to the proper mechanics when it comes to shooting a basketball. So there aren't that many things in life that I'm good at. This is one of the things that I think I'm certainly proficient in. For a long time, I actually wanted to be a shooting coach back when I was younger. So here is one of my absolute favorite drills, and I'll actually still go back to it now. In just a couple minutes of this will help to dial in my form. So when you set up to shoot a basketball, first things first, you want to start with your foundation, with your base. So feet are approximately shoulder width apart. If you're right-handed, your right foot will be ever so slightly in front of your left. So I'm saying like 1.5 inches or 2 inches. It's not drastic. From there, you want everything to be lined up. Your mechanics are very similar to how we teach you to do things in here in the gym. So you want a straight line from your ankle, knee, hip, shoulder, and then as you get set up into that shooting pocket, shoulder, elbow, wrist, all in a straight line here. Boom. You don't want to be out like this. So nice soft knees. You have that straight line all the way up and down your strong side. When you grab the ball, I was always taught to shoot on the laces. So I'm not going to give you a definitive way to go about this because I like that. I'm much more accurate there. But the problem is I have more difficulty now not being on the laces. So I'm going to leave that entirely up to you. But I was always taught to shoot on the laces. Caveat to that being, it'll be a little easier to learn to shoot. It'll be a little harder down the road to catch and shoot not being on the laces. But when you're learning, this will be easier. Okay, now that we've learned how to set ourselves up to shoot a basketball, when we're actually holding the basketball, your palm is not on the ball. I'm actually going to have space. So my fingertips are as wide as I possibly can have them, especially I don't have big hands for a basketball player, so I really have to focus. I'll notice oftentimes if I start missing shots, my hands will be narrow. I don't know why I always default to that. So I'll have to be mindful even after shooting a basketball, how many hundreds of thousands, if not millions of times I've shot a basketball, I still have to remind myself to keep my hands wide. So I'm going to be set up so that just my fingertips are on the ball. I have airspace where my palm is here. Okay, so this is my setup. Notice as I'm here, you can see I've got daylight. I've got daylight in between my palm and the ball. So fingers wide. Palm does not touch the ball. Your fingers are holding the ball the whole time. So as you release, there's less surface area on it. Boom. That middle and index finger are the last two things that touch that ball as you follow through and release. So what I'll do is I'll get set up. I'll hold the ball in front. I'm on the laces. I'm holding the ball in front. I'm going to bring it up with just one hand because if you don't have it lined up, if you don't have it balanced, it's a lot harder to keep control of it. So I'm going to bring it up. I want this to be lined up pretty much right with my ear, just above my eyes. Once again, I have this straight line all the way down. So from here, I'm going to soften my knees, extend my knees, come up on my toes. My hand comes up, and I'm going to flick my wrist. One of the shooting coaches that I had way back in the day, this guy was amazing. He could shoot for an hour at a time. He would say, you know, you're going to leave your fingers in the cookie jar. So I'm going to follow through, and I'm actually going to try to put my fingertips inside the rim. So the way this drill works, now that we've gone through all of that, I'm going to start just in front of the hoop. So shoulder width apart, everything's lined up, ball's in front of me. I'm going to bring it up and chamber it into that triple threat position. This hand is not active right now, so I'm just going to softly, If I miss it, I go back to the same spot. If I make it, I get to take about a 6-inch step backwards. I'm going to reset again. Boom. If I make it, I'm good. And you know you're on point if the ball comes back to you. That means that you've swished it. Boom. It's going to give you that nice return. Boom. I was switched and it didn't. But okay, so I'm gonna keep doing this. I missed. All right. I go back to that same spot. I didn't earn my opportunity to move backwards. All right, I'm back on track. I retrieve my ball and I move back again. So go back as far as you can. Then what I'll have people do is the same exact drill. We're adding our guide hand to the mix. Your guide hand actually does nothing in terms of the actual release of the basketball. It's merely there to hold it and guide it into position. So what I'm going to do is the same exact drill. I'm going to hold this here, but it's not touching. So as I get in position, I'm still keeping this about 2 inches off of the ball. I'm just getting accustomed to that position. So I'm here, this one comes up, it is not in contact with it. Boom, take that shot. I make it, I step back. Boom, take that shot, make it, I step back. Then your third step is to actually have your guide hand on the ball. Once again, as you release, this hand just opens, and your strong hand does everything. So now I'm back in, boom, shoot, grab the ball, step back, shoot, I missed, okay. I don't have the right to move backwards. I reset again, I grab the ball, step back. You do that enough, that is going to ingrain that muscle memory so that you'll be able to properly shoot basketball. Every time. Not every time, but more often than not. So, give that a shot. Let me know what you think.
They're playing basketball. We love that basketball. They're playing basketball.
Now rapping basketball, number 1, Curtis Blow.
Basketball is my favorite sport. I like the way they dribble up and down the court, just like I'm the king on the microphone. So it's Dr. J and Moses Malone.